I will speak to you now, not as noise, not as passing thought, but as a voice that has watched your journey from places you cannot yet see, and I want you to listen slowly, not with your ears alone, but with the quiet part of your spirit that still believes there is something greater guiding you. You have wondered why your path has felt delayed, why your heart has been stretched through seasons of waiting, why certain people came close only to leave, and why the love you hoped for seemed to remain just beyond your reach. But I tell you this with clarity. You were not being denied, you were being aligned. There is a difference between delay and divine timing, and what you have been experiencing is not absence, it is preparation. You are not behind, you are being positioned. Every disappointment that broke your expectation was not meant to break your future, it was meant to protect it. You have asked in quiet moments, sometimes with tears, if love was truly meant for you, if you would ever be chosen in a way that feels complete, safe, and real. Hear this clearly. You are not forgotten. Your story is not overlooked. There is someone whose path is also being shaped, someone who is being refined in ways that mirror your own growth, someone who is learning lessons they did not choose, so that when your lives meet, the connection will not destroy you, but strengthen you. This is not random. This is intentional. God is not pairing you with someone who would have met the old version of you, because that version could not hold what is coming. You are becoming someone who can receive what you once prayed for, and they are becoming someone who can give it without breaking it. That is why the timing matters. That is why the waiting has purpose. The scripture says in Ecclesiastes 3:11, He has made everything beautiful in its time. Not your time, not their time, His time. And His time is never late, even when it feels unbearable to wait. There were relationships that almost happened, and you thought they were the one, and you felt the pull, and you felt the hope, and then it faded, and you did not understand why. But those were intersections, not destinations. They were reflections of desire, not confirmations of destiny. And you needed to see the difference, because the love that is being aligned for you will not confuse you. It will not leave you guessing where you stand. It will not make you question your worth. It will not ask you to shrink so that it can exist. It will meet you with clarity, with consistency, with peace that does not need constant reassurance. You have been conditioned to think that intensity is love. But intensity without stability is not love. It is imbalance. You have been drawn to what feels strong in the moment, but what God is preparing for you is something that remains strong even when the moment is quiet. A love that does not disappear when things are difficult. A love that does not require you to fight for basic respect. A love that does not leave you exhausted. This is why you had to unlearn certain patterns. This is why certain connections were removed, because you were accepting less than what was prepared for you, and you cannot receive what is right for you while holding on to what is wrong for you. Let go of the idea that everything that felt real was meant to stay. Some things felt real to teach you what is not permanent. Some people felt right, so you could learn what is incomplete. Some connections felt deep so you could recognize when something is truly aligned. You are not being punished. You are being refined. And refinement is not comfortable, but it is necessary. You are learning to recognize love that is calm, not chaotic. Love that is present, not inconsistent. Love that builds, not drains. This is what you are being prepared for, and the one you are being aligned with is also learning this in their own way. They are being corrected where they were immature. They are being healed where they were wounded. They are being redirected where they were lost. And just like you, they may not understand everything that is happening in their life right now. But it is not random. It is part of the same design that is shaping you. There are moments when you feel tired of waiting. Moments when you feel like giving up on the idea of love altogether. Moments when you tell yourself that maybe it is easier to just stop hoping. But that feeling is not truth. It is fatigue. And fatigue can make you forget what is real. Do not let temporary exhaustion rewrite your understanding of your future. You are not meant to walk this life alone. Genesis 2:18 says, "It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him and help meet for him." You were created for connection. Not just any connection, but one that complements you, one that strengthens you, one that walks beside you, not ahead of you, and not behind you. Equal in value, aligned in purpose. And what is being aligned is not just emotional connection, but spiritual alignment. Because if the foundation is not aligned, the relationship cannot stand. This is why your growth matters. This is why your healing matters. This is why your patience matters. Because what is coming into your life is not casual. It is covenant. And covenant requires preparation. You are being taught to choose wisely, not quickly. To recognize peace, not just excitement. To listen to discernment, not just desire. Because desire without discernment can lead you into the same cycles you are meant to leave behind. And you are not meant to repeat what you have already outgrown. There is a shift happening within you. You are starting to see things differently. You are starting to notice what you once ignored. You are starting to value what you once overlooked. And that is not accidental. That is alignment. Because the version of you that will meet your future spouse is not the same version of you that would have chosen the wrong person. You are changing, and that change is necessary. And yes, sometimes it feels lonely. Sometimes it feels like you are in between, no longer connected to what was, but not yet holding what will be. But that space is sacred, because it is where transformation happens. Do not rush out of that space just because it feels uncomfortable. Growth is not meant to feel easy, but it is meant to be worth it. And what is coming into your life will be worth it. It will not be perfect, because no person is perfect, but it will be right. Right in a way that does not require constant doubt. Right in a way that feels stable. Right in a way that brings peace instead of confusion. You will recognize it, not just because of how you feel, but because of what it produces in your life. Clarity, consistency, peace, growth, mutual respect. These are the markers of alignment, not just attraction, not just words, not just promises, but fruit. The scripture says in Matthew 7:16, "You will know them by their fruits." And you will know this person not just by what they say, but by what they consistently show. They will not make you question if they care. They will not leave you guessing their intentions. They will not disappear when things require effort. They will show up, again and again, not perfectly, but faithfully. And that is what matters. You are not waiting for someone flawless. You are waiting for someone aligned. And alignment is more powerful than perfection, because alignment means you are both moving in the same direction, under the same guidance, with the same foundation. That is what sustains a relationship, not just feelings, but shared direction. You are closer than you think, even if nothing around you seems to reflect that, even if it feels like nothing is changing. There are movements happening that you cannot see. Conversations that are shifting paths, decisions that are redirecting timelines, growth that is preparing both of you, and when the time is right, what has been prepared in private will become visible in your life. Do not measure your progress by what you can see. some of the most important things are happening where you cannot observe them. Trust the process, not blindly, but intentionally, because God is not careless with your life. He is precise, and what He is aligning is not temporary. It is intentional. If you have been holding on to someone who is not aligned with you, release them, not out of bitterness, but out of clarity, because holding on to what is not meant for you can block what is. And you deserve what is aligned, not what is convenient, not what is familiar, not what is almost right, but what is truly right. And that requires space. Space for something new. Space for something better. Space for something prepared. Do not fill that space with distractions. Do not fill that space with temporary comfort. Allow that space to exist, because it is making room for something real. You are not empty. You are being prepared. You are not alone. You are being positioned. You are not forgotten. You are being aligned. And when this connection enters your life, it will not feel forced. It will not feel like something you have to convince yourself about. It will feel natural, not because it is easy, but because it is right. There will still be effort. There will still be growth. But there will not be confusion about whether it is meant to be, because alignment removes confusion. And clarity is one of the clearest signs of divine direction. Stay patient. Stay aware. Stay grounded. Because what is coming is not random. It is intentional. And you are being guided toward it, step by step, even when you cannot see the path clearly. Take a moment to subscribe to this channel, because this message is part of a larger journey of understanding, and you are not meant to walk it alone. Leave a comment if this message is reaching you at the right time, because your voice matters in this space. And like this video so that it can reach others who are also in this season of waiting and alignment. Continue to listen, because there is more you need to understand. You have been asking for signs, small confirmations that you are not imagining this, that something real is actually being prepared for you. And sometimes those signs come quietly, a sudden sense of peace where there used to be anxiety, a loss of interest in things that once consumed your attention, a deeper desire for something meaningful instead of something temporary. These are not random shifts. They are indicators that your perspective is changing. And when your perspective changes, your choices change. And when your choices change, your direction changes. And that is how alignment happens. Not through sudden miracles alone, but through consistent transformation. You are being guided to become someone who chooses what is right, not just what feels good in the moment. Because what feels good is not always what is right. But what is right will bring a deeper sense of peace than anything temporary ever could. The one you are being aligned with will not just match your desires, they will match your values. And values determine longevity. Because when values are aligned, decisions become easier. Conflicts become manageable. Growth becomes shared. This is not just about finding someone. This is about building something that lasts. And what lasts requires foundation. That is why your foundation is being strengthened now. Even if it feels like nothing is happening, something is always happening. Growth is happening. Understanding is happening. Alignment is happening. You are moving forward, even when it feels like you are standing still. Do not underestimate the power of quiet seasons. They are often the most transformative. You are learning to trust, not just outcomes, but the process itself. And that trust will sustain you when things are not immediately clear. You are not meant to control every step. You are meant to walk with faith, not blind faith, but informed trust. Trust built from recognizing that what you have been protected from was necessary. Trust built from understanding that what left your life made space for something better. Trust built from seeing that even your pain had purpose. Nothing has been wasted. Not your tears, not your waiting, not your lessons. Everything has contributed to who you are becoming, and who you are becoming is exactly who you need to be for what is coming. Continue to prepare your heart. Continue to grow. Continue to release what is not aligned, because alignment requires participation. You are not passive in this process. You are active. Your choices matter. Your boundaries matter. Your awareness matters. And as you continue to move forward with intention, you will begin to see more clearly. Not all at once, but gradually, step by step, moment by moment, until one day, what you have been waiting for is no longer something you imagine, but something you experience. And when that happens, you will understand why the timing mattered, why the waiting was necessary, why the alignment could not be rushed, because it will fit in a way that nothing else ever did. And you will know, not because someone told you, but because your spirit will recognize it. Remain steady, remain patient, remain open, because what is being aligned is real, and it is closer than you think. You are still here, still listening, and that matters, because not everyone stays long enough to understand what is truly happening in their life. Many people leave too early. They walk away from the process before it has a chance to complete, and then they wonder why nothing ever feels whole. You are not here by accident. Something in you is searching for truth. Something in you knows that your life is not just a series of random events, but a path that is being shaped with intention, even when that intention is not immediately visible. And I want you to understand something clearly. Your future spouse is not just someone who appears suddenly. They are someone whose path is being aligned with yours long before you ever meet them. You may not know their name yet. You may not know where they are. You may not even know what they look like. But their life is moving, just like yours is moving. Their experiences are shaping them, just like your experiences are shaping you. And just as you have had to let go of certain things, they have had to let go of certain things too. This is not coincidence. This is preparation happening on two sides at the same time. And the reason you have not met yet is not because something is missing. It is because something is still being built. You would not want to meet them too early, not when you were still accepting less than you deserve, not when they were still becoming who they needed to be. Because timing is not just about when you meet, it is about who you are when you meet. And who you are becoming now will determine what kind of relationship you can sustain later. There were moments when you almost settled, moments when you thought, maybe this is enough. Maybe this is as good as it gets. Maybe I should just accept this and stop expecting more. But something inside you resisted that. Something inside you said, this is not it. Even when it would have been easier to stay. Even when it would have been less lonely to accept something incomplete. You walked away, or it was taken away from you. And at the time, it felt like loss. But now, you are beginning to see that it was protection. Because what you almost accepted would have kept you from what is actually meant for you. And you are not meant to live in almost. You are meant to experience fullness. Not perfection, but fullness. A connection that feels whole, not something that constantly feels like it is missing something essential. You have been learning to trust your discernment. That quiet voice that tells you when something is not right, even when everything on the surface seems good. That feeling is not fear. That feeling is awareness. And awareness is one of the ways you are being guided. Do not ignore it. Do not silence it just because you want something to work. Because forcing something that is not aligned will only delay what is. You do not have to chase what is meant for you. You do not have to convince what is meant for you. You do not have to fight for what is meant for you to stay. What is aligned will come with clarity, not confusion. It will come with consistency, not unpredictability. It will come with peace, not constant anxiety. You have experienced what it feels like to be unsure, to question everything, to overthink every word, every action, every silence. That is not what is being prepared for you, because love that is right does not require you to constantly interpret it. It speaks clearly through actions, and it remains steady even when emotions fluctuate. You are learning to recognize that. You are learning that love is not just how something begins, but how it continues. And the one who is being aligned with you will continue. They will not disappear when things require effort. They will not withdraw when things become real. They will not avoid what needs to be addressed. They will stay, not because it is easy, but because they are committed. Commitment is not just a word. It is a pattern of behavior. It is showing up consistently. It is choosing the relationship even when it requires patience, understanding, and growth. And that is what you are being prepared for. Not something temporary, but something that can endure. Because endurance is what defines a lasting connection. Feelings will change. Circumstances will change. But commitment remains. And the one who is being aligned with you understands that, even if they are still learning it right now. Just as you are still learning, you are both in process, and that process matters, because without it, the relationship would not have the strength to last. You are being taught to value depth over surface, substance over appearance, character over charm, because charm can attract, but character sustains. And you need something that sustains, something that does not fade when the initial excitement settles, something that grows stronger over time, not weaker. That is what is being aligned. Not just a moment, but a future. And a future requires preparation. This is why you have had to grow in areas you did not expect. Why you have had to face things within yourself that you would have rather avoided. Why you have had to heal from things that still hurt when you think about them. Because unhealed pain does not stay hidden. It shows up in relationships. It affects how you respond, how you trust, how you communicate, and you are being given the opportunity to heal now, so that you do not carry that pain into something that is meant to be whole. Healing is not easy. It requires honesty. It requires patience. It requires facing things you would rather forget. But it is necessary, because you cannot build something healthy on an unstable foundation. And you are not meant to build something unstable. You are meant to build something lasting. That is why this matters. That is why your growth matters. That is why your healing matters. Because what you are being prepared for is not ordinary. It is intentional. And intentional things require attention. You are not being rushed, because rushing leads to mistakes. And mistakes can lead to unnecessary pain. You have experienced enough unnecessary pain. You do not need more of that. What you need now is clarity, stability, alignment, and that is exactly what is being prepared. You are moving closer, even if it does not feel like it, even if your current reality does not reflect it. Movement is not always visible. Sometimes it is internal. Sometimes it is happening within your mindset, your understanding, your awareness, and that internal movement is just as important as external change, because it determines how you will respond when the external change happens. You are being positioned, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, so that when this person enters your life, you are ready to recognize them. And not just recognize them, but receive them. Because recognition without readiness can still lead to loss. And you are not meant to lose what is aligned with you. You are meant to build with it, to grow with it, to experience it fully. That is why you must remain patient. Not passive, but patient. There is a difference. Patience is active. It is continuing to grow, continuing to prepare, continuing to trust, even when you do not see immediate results. Passivity is doing nothing and expecting everything to happen. That is not what you are being called to do. You are being called to participate in your own preparation, to become aware of your patterns, to set boundaries where they are needed, to release what is not aligned, to choose what is healthy, even when it is not what you are used to, because what you are used to is not always what is right for you, and you are being led into something that is right, something that is stable, something that will not require you to constantly question your place. You will know where you stand, and that clarity will bring peace. A peace that does not depend on constant reassurance. A peace that remains even in silence. That is what alignment feels like. It does not feel chaotic. It does not feel uncertain. It feels steady, grounded, secure, and you will recognize it not because it is overwhelming, but because it is calm. And that calmness may feel unfamiliar at first, because you have been used to intensity, to emotional highs and lows, to unpredictability. But that is not what you are being prepared for. You are being prepared for consistency. And consistency may feel less exciting at first, but it is far more valuable, because it is what allows something to last. And you are not looking for something that only feels good in the beginning. You are looking for something that remains good over time. That is what matters. Do not confuse familiarity with alignment. Just because something feels familiar does not mean it is right. Sometimes, familiarity is just repetition of old patterns, and you are not meant to repeat what you have already learned from. You are meant to move forward into something new, something better, something aligned, and you are already on that path, even if you cannot see the full picture yet. Trust what is being built. Trust what is being prepared. Trust that you are not being led in the wrong direction, because you are not. You are being guided, step by step, and each step is taking you closer to what is meant for you. Do not lose focus now. Do not give up now, because you are closer than you think. Take a moment here to subscribe to this channel, because you are not meant to walk this journey without guidance, and there is more that will help you understand what is happening in your life. Leave a comment if you feel this message connecting with your situation, because your experience matters and it can help others feel less alone. And like this video so that it reaches those who are also in this season of preparation and need clarity. Continue to stay present, because there is still more for you to understand. You've been asking how you will know, how you will recognize the one who is meant for you. And the answer is not complicated, but it requires awareness. You will know because you will not feel the need to convince yourself. You will not need to create excuses for their behavior. You will not need to justify inconsistency. You will not need to question their intentions, because their actions will align with their words. And that alignment will bring clarity. You will feel seen, not overlooked, heard, not ignored, valued, not tolerated. And that difference will be clear, not because it is overwhelming, but because it is consistent. Consistency reveals truth over time, and truth does not need to be forced. It reveals itself naturally. That is what you are moving toward. Something real, something steady, something aligned. And when it arrives, you will understand why everything before it had to happen the way it did. Because it prepared you. And preparation is what allows you to receive what you once only hoped for. Stay ready. Stay aware. Stay grounded. Because what is being aligned is not far away. It is already in motion. Amen.